Hi everyone, this is my second video about how I'm building my own password manager. In the first video, I explained in detail why I decided to create my own password manager and built the initial skeleton of the application, so check it out if you haven't seen it yet. In this episode, I'll show what I managed to implement over the past week since the last release and share my plans for what comes next. Hi, I'm Nick and I've been developing software for over 20 years. On this channel, I share my experience, insights and thoughts about IT. So the first thing I implemented was opening a password database. For this, I created a test database using KeePassXC, where I set up a simple tree structure of folders and then added a few entries with passwords. I need a database like this right now because I decided that in the first iteration, I will focus on reading and opening an existing database. The tree structure is important because it allows my program to immediately reconstruct the correct structure of the database internally when it reads it. So, first let me show you what I already have working and what has been implemented so far. After that, I'll briefly go over some of the more interesting parts. As you may remember, I chose Tauri for building this application, so I'm launching my password manager from the console. I also cleared all caches beforehand so you can see the full compilation and build process. On the first run, this can take quite a while, but after that only the modified parts are recompiled, so subsequent restarts are almost instantaneous. Alright, the application has started. That's already a good sign. On the initial screen, everything is pretty standard. We need to select a password database file. Key files are not supported yet, and I don't think I'll add that feature anytime soon. Just as a reminder, a key file is a separate secret file that is used together with the password to unlock the database. Without it, even if you know the password, you won't be able to open the database. So after entering the password, the database is successfully decrypted and opened. On the surface, this may not seem very special, but in reality, decrypting the database is the key part of this entire application. Thanks to the KDBX web library for making this possible. By the way, this library allows you to work with KDBX databases both in the browser and on a server or a local computer. But let's get back to our database and the program itself. As you can see, all the entries were read successfully. In the left column, I render a tree of folders that can be expanded and collapsed. For each folder, I also display the number of entries it contains. Now let's move to the main panel. Here you can see the list of all entries. They can already be sorted by name or by date. Also, if we select a specific folder in the left panel, only the entries from that folder are displayed. Each entry can be opened to view it in more detail. At the moment, the detailed view shows only the most essential fields: the title or name of the entry, the username or email, and of course the password. There are also a few additional fields such as the URL and notes. At the very bottom, I also display some metadata, but that's mostly useful for me as a developer. I might remove that section later. It's important to note that the database format actually allows you to store much more information in each entry, even attachments like files and images. But for now, I decided to postpone that for later iterations and focus only on displaying the most important fields. My priority right now is to build a fully functional product that I can start using myself. I don't want this project to turn into an endless unfinished build. I've also already implemented editing and deleting entries. And of course, you can create a new entry. Let me create one with some random test values just to verify that everything works correctly. By the way, I almost forgot to mention that you can already create custom fields for an entry. Essentially, it's a key value storage. The key is any field name you want, and the value can be any text. Another important thing is that saving the open database is already implemented, so all the changes we make can now be saved. After that, the database can be closed. Let's open the same database again to verify that all the changes were saved correctly and that the database loads with the new data. Alright, as you can see, here is the entry we added. It was successfully saved, then loaded again and displayed correctly. So at this point, the foundation of the application is in place. The key features of the password manager have been implemented and are already working. Building this foundation was my goal for the first iteration. Now I can start identifying which features are still missing for me to fully switch to using my own password manager on a daily basis. Once that list is clear, I'll plan the next few short iterations to implement them. However, to keep today's video from getting too long, I'll talk about that in the next episode. In the next video, I'm also planning to do a small code walkthrough to show how everything works and highlight some of the most interesting parts. Alright, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you soon. Take care.